Yo, 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 what is happening? Got ourselves a little bit of a different setup now, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen? What is good, guys? Yes, I am late today. But what's really been happening? Nothing much, really. Markets haven't really been moving. We've seen a little bit of a movement in the NASDAQ, but that's only because today we've got a few members of the FOMC speaking. And the market is just going crazy today. It's just whipping and whacking price up and down. What's the purpose of today's live stream, ladies and gentlemen? Pretty simple. The financial market reset. Now, when we say reset, quite frankly, people are going to be a little bit alarmed by it, but all it is just nice consolidations. You take every peak that has happened in the S&P or the NASDAQ, and it corrects. They encourage the idea of a bearish market, war, inflation, all of these things that contribute to the idea of a financial collapse. But quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to really try and work out how we can capitalize in these sort of scenarios. And in today's live stream, I'm going to be breaking down how to project where price is likely to go, depending on the asset that you're talking about, how to understand the idea of macros in relation to defensive stocks that you can get involved in when times like this, especially given that we have got a bearish market coming into play. And more importantly, Goldman Sachs talking about the idea that in 2023, the stock market is going to be pretty much unchanged. Unchanged for a whole year. Now, quite frankly, if the market is going to be deemed as unchanged, basing it off what precedents? Are we talking about from the high that the S&P made? Or are we talking about it over the last 6 months? What do they mean by it's going to be unchanged? What we've got to remember, guys, is contributing factors that have led to Bitcoin going down, because there is a shift right now in cryptocurrency. There is a big shift. There are the guys now trying to push the idea of what utility each cryptocurrency coin has. And they think that by waving that around is going to encourage more people to come in and commit liquidity in cryptocurrency. If Wall Street are already talking about that FTX was, in terms of the management, the corporate management, was absolutely atrocious, then we've got to really try and gauge the idea of what needs to happen to get people to step into cryptocurrency again. Because it's not the price of Bitcoin, no. Because Bitcoin can be $8,000, it can be $3,000. Do you trust it? That's the bigger picture. Do you trust what's happened in cryptocurrency? And quite frankly, guys, who does? The only people that will trust cryptocurrency are the people that are the enthusiasts of cryptocurrency, and that's the truth, all right? We know markets go up and they go down. Do they go down forever? No. But it's the going down which is going to squeeze out all the weak players and the guys who just came in for a little bit of fun, and now they're out of the game of trading or out of the game of investment, and they're probably just going to start looking at investing in properties, doing the conventional practices. Because the stock market will always bring people who like to get excited. They like to get excited about the idea of their investment going 10x, 20x, 50x, whatever x. What you've got to remember, guys, is you're dealing with the most speculative game, the most speculative industry in the world. All right? Let's get over to the charts, guys. I hope you are all well. Checking in with you all on a Monday. If you are new to the channel, hit the likes, hit the subscribes. They are the only things that do not cost you a single penny. All right? It just helps with the algorithm. Let's have a conversation, guys. Okay, then. Cool. What have we got in front of us right now? Yes, I am a guitarist, ladies and gentlemen. Right there is the James Hetfield replica of the not the Explorer, but the ESP, sorry. But in my days of playing guitar, I've played guitar for about 18 years, and I learned on the electric guitar before I picked up the Spanish. Now I no longer look at a plectrum. I can't even hold a plectrum. It's all about those finger pickings, man. Love that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's get with the idea of a financial market reset and how we can actually capitalize, or more importantly, look to where we can put liquidity. Because JP Morgan put it quite simply: get defensive, long dollar. Now let's just look at the logic. What if you are sitting on gains right now and you cash those gains in? Mr. Taxman's going to be looking for those capital gains, man. He's going to be wanting to know, where's my payday? You know, there's paying yourself and then you're having to pay other people at the same time. So what can we do to diversify? Do you think Warren Buffett sells up everything when the markets are crashing? No. How can Elon Musk, how can Elon Musk's wealth go from, Mark Zuckerberg. His wealth went from 104 billion down to 61, for example. Yet Warren Buffett's wealth went from 104 billion to 109 billion in these current market circumstances. Why? Because Buffett is diversified. He buys stock that can absorb what's going on in the current market phases. My days, what's going on? All right. He picks up defensive stocks, and I'm going to be going into that very shortly because I asked you guys a question in the community posts, and I said, given with what's going on with cryptocurrency, what else do you guys look at? Do you look at Forex? Do you look at, crypto, Forex, stocks, options? What is it that you get yourself involved in? And in my opinion, what I'm going to talk about now is getting you to be aware of other asset classes other than crypto. Because if crypto goes to the pan, that's all good. As a trader, for me, I've always got the legacy markets. Forex is where I came from. Stock market is where I came from. So if cryptocurrency decides to disappear, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all good. Because I understand what other markets I can trade. And hopefully by the end of this stream, you guys will have a good idea of what to look out for and what you can get involved in if you're looking to diversify your portfolios. So let's get into a little bit of Bitcoin price action and understand what has actually happened. Oh my days, Bitcoin takes that 16K. What a beautiful story right there. Now, let me just explain something, okay? Bitcoin's move, or should I say, what's happened here? Let me just get rid of this. If you are new to the channel, guys, and you haven't got this indicator, just go to go to the indicators, go to Traders Reality main, get that bad boy downloaded, okay? And there's the steps on the Traders Reality website, which will talk you through how to get this indicator installed, all right? Now, check this out. It's free of charge, so don't worry about that. Here we go. Bitcoin, where has it come from? That's the key question you've got to ask yourself. Where's Bitcoin come from for me to understand what it's likely to do next, okay? Now, Monday in trading, especially in Forex, is usually deemed as a false day, all right? If there's any hope of price moving to the upside, it's going to be met with some resistance because traders have got the short-term mindset, all right? The yields have inverted, guys. No one's talking about the yields. They have inverted, which means short-term interest is favored. So if I say to you, I want to give you $1,000 to invest with the US government, they guarantee in 3 months, I'm going to get $100 back. So I make $100 on my $1,000 investment. But if they say to me, I will also accept that $1,000 and give you a $100 gain in 12 months' time, which one are you going to take? You're going to take the 3-month one because you want short-term interest to come into play sooner rather than later. That means that the stock market and the economy overall ain't looking so good. That's why yields have inverted, because money is not being left long enough in the markets. The problem we have in cryptocurrency is if Bitcoin moves to the upside, everyone gets engaged in the moon boy status and thinks that Bitcoin is the greatest hedge against inflation. With what's going on in cryptocurrency right now, trust, man. All right, NFTs and, pump and dump scams, I get it. People get caught out. But cryptocurrency has now got stigma on it. And that means that people do not trust it. Wall Street will not touch crypto, especially after what's happened with FTX. Given that it had a platform, it had so much financial backing towards it, now the creditors are knocking on the door saying, yo, Sam, where's my mullah? So we've got to really understand what we can do and where we can put our liquidity to try and offset the idea of any bankruptcies. You don't hear about many bankruptcies happening. Okay, let's talk about Lehman Brothers back in the day in the 2007, 2008 subprime mortgage crisis. Lehman Brothers collapsed. And then that's when the government started to bail out banks. Look at Northern Rock in the UK. All right? When it comes to these big banks, it pays for them to be paid out and bailed out, for the better word, because it will disrupt the system completely. And we were close to that during the global financial crisis back in 2007, 2008. We don't have that right now. Inflation is a problem. That is it. Inflation and the tensions between Russia and Ukraine. That is it. And we got ourselves a little bit of an energy crisis. Cool. But we are not in the idea of a global financial, destruction, no matter what they say, because they can't kill this business model, because this business model makes money for them. Okay? Now check this out. Bitcoin has been flirting with this 16-17 zone. Took an absolute nosedive over the weekend, and volatility was getting pretty aggressive across the board. Now, what is it that we can get from this? Well, look, if we just look at Bitcoin on the higher time frames, Bitcoin just looks like it's slowly but surely trying to come into these vector candle regions right here. If you go to the main indicator, scroll all the way down and click off override, it can change it to the colors of the vectors. So this is the liquidity of vectors that remains in the chart, okay? If we go back to what Bitcoin actually took from last week, which we were talking about in the live streams, you can see bright as day that Bitcoin came back into that green vector candle region that Ethereum had taken back first, right here, okay? Now, this is important. What I want to do is I want to talk you through the logic of why Bitcoin broke down. Now, I shared this projection to the patrons of the channel over the weekend, and it was an extensive breakdown of Bitcoin's price action, what I anticipated Bitcoin to do over the weekend. Now, it was a bit of a long read, ladies and gentlemen, but the whole point of it was not because the projection played out. My goal with people in the page is to get them to understand my logic of thinking on how to break down price. And it started off with this image right here. This was the 10-hour time frame for Bitcoin, okay? Now, these specific zones that you can see at the top side right here at 17K, and then in between that 16,850, and then this area here and this area here. Inside of this 10-hour chart, I was getting the idea that Mr. Market Maker was favoring lower prices because of his reluctance to show interest lower. He was showing more interest to spike higher, which led me to believe that at some point, Mr. Market Maker would initiate a reversal back up to trap the liquidity. The next chart shows you the 5-hour time frame, which gives you an understanding of the liquidity that was remaining at the lows. If you can see down here, this is where the liquidity was that we were aiming towards over the weekend, all right? This structure right here factors in what to expect. So when you're getting ready to open a trade, have you put down the expectation of Bitcoin's behavior at a specific point? Because this is why traders get liquidated. Because they don't factor in that Bitcoin could initiate a stop run to the upside. Okay, cryptocurrency's taking a nosedive, but it's not always going to be going down. It has to come up for it to go down. Because what do you think Mr. Market Maker's going to do? He ain't going to be going short when price is going lower. He needs people to be buying. So with these blue areas here, we were talking about the idea that we would expect Bitcoin to move up, go down to a lower time frame. You can start seeing this right here is the vector push zone. So what is a vector push zone? A vector push zone is a point in the chart where Mr. Market Maker aims to move price up or down with the idea of trapping traders in the belief that it's going in a particular direction to get him to commit the liquidity. Price can't move if people don't commit. This area here shows the sell stop zone trigger points. The trigger points in a chart is where price goes to a zone where people get excited to do something about it. The takeaway for you guys is this. Understand where in the chart price engages with the most activity, and it's evident with the stop runs, okay? And then finally, we've got the 1 hour time frame with the weekly VWAP, and we projected that this is the region where speed of candles and V-shaped plays will be created. And we projected the 16K zone. We go over to Bitcoin right now, and you can see that the 16K zone got obliterated, but just look at the journey of Bitcoin's price. Go into the smaller time frames to understand the logic. Where are the vector pushes? Look at this. So before the drop to the downside, if you see in this area here, we've got the vector push zones right here. Go into smaller time frames, you can see them. Look at this. Blue vector candles, push, 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 push. What's Mr. Market Maker doing? He's getting people to do something. He comes back up and hits the liquidity up here, brings it back down again. One more push, rip to the downside, recovery of the wicks where he had the last interest of traders to step in. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the points where people commit. You're looking for the points where traders say, you know what? It's going to go down. But why is it at that point Bitcoin always makes the reversal? And that's why people get liquidated. Okay? Who's calling me? No one's calling me. Steve's calling me. Anyway, going into the chart right now, look what's going on. We've got vector push zones. Here we go, look. Vector push zone, vector push zone. He comes up and hits the daily open. Why? Because if you look to the left, ladies and gentlemen, the last time he was able to go there, he got interest of retail. Look, he got retail to say, yeah, man, Bitcoin's going up to the upside. Happy days. Come on, we're going to moon out. Ladies and gentlemen, he did exactly the same thing. Recovery of the vector candle right there and rip to the downside. That was this morning's projection, the morning tier update, where we had spoke about Bitcoin inside of this area here. Where is it? Where we're going into that logic of price coming down. Where are we? Right here. Here is it. There it is. Right there. Inside of, I was having the conversation about it right there. And this is what it's showing us. It's what it's doing right now. Okay? But what I want you to understand is you see these pushes up. They are not designed to start the move higher if the narrative is showing that Bitcoin's trading lower. Now, this is where we start getting into the idea of trusting cryptocurrency. People get caught up when they see Bitcoin make these bold moves to the upside. They just dismiss the idea of what's going on over across the board. Let's just look at the Brinks box. Look at how treacherous the Brinks box is right now. It's a horrible day. Look at that. It's getting tricky to even trade. But Monday is always going to lead to that narrative. Going over to Ethereum. Look, Ethereum's doing exactly the same thing. Now we've got vector imbalances down at the lows. We know they're going to come and eat this liquidity. And if it's not now, they are going to prepare price with the anticipation of coming back towards it. Why? Because you've got to ask yourself the question, what is the market doing more of and not following through with? Which is only going to lead you to the idea of equilibrium. If it can't follow through with a particular zone, it's preparing for something else. If by the business model says that Mr. Market Maker sells at the highest point, that means he's trapping traders into buying. So that's where you run your shorts. When people go long, and if the general consensus is Bitcoin's moving up, you know market maker is preparing to release price. Why? Because this is the liquidity zone. This is the sell stop zone. This is where he's able to grab traders' interests. That's where he's able to get you as a retail trader to say, you know what? I'm going with the move to the upside. Now, that doesn't mean you can't trade momentum. You see, part of the vector candle strategy shows the first green vector candle that appears above the 50 EMA, depending on the time frame you're trading it, in this instance, the 5-minute time frame, you take yourself along. Why? Because you are going aligned with the market maker's attempt to trap. The sad truth is this, guys. This is the area where retail gets trapped. The speed of the candle. This happened at speed, okay? This didn't happen at speed. It was a progressive move up, okay? Just look at the length of the candlestick itself. Up, down, up, down. All right, look at the time that it started at, 12:30. Not that much of a big time in the marketplace. But now that you've got the attempt in the US Brink session itself, you're now going to be asking yourself, look, what's the point in believing that price is going to go higher? And granted, it could go higher from this point. That would then tell me that Mr. Market Maker isn't finished with this area. But I have to look left and see what zone could he actually go for. What zone could he attempt to reach price towards where he's going to get the bigger interest, okay? And you'll see that by the principle of vector candle spikes to the upside, okay? Now, Bitcoin's hit this daily open. Sorry, Ethereum's hit this daily open, okay? What can we work out moving forward with assets across the board? So I'm going to be bringing it into the idea of what to look for in terms of if you are trying to work out where to put your money kind of story. So you need to break down what's going on in the marketplace. First things first, we need to understand the sentiment of traders in cryptocurrency. Look at this bad boy. That is a sore sight right there. What is that wick? What is that wick in USDT? Now, we've been waiting for this to happen in USDT, ladies and gentlemen, okay? We've been waiting for this wick to happen because they've come back into the vector candle region. We marked it off last week. Happy days. That means traders are getting rid of crypto. And you can see already there's instability in the marketplace itself. Quick interest. Price goes down, Bitcoin shoots up, happy days, quickly get your money, bring it back into the play. Does this mean that price could actually come back down again and recover? Or have they already recovered the vector zones? The fact that it's now moving up tells me that they're still going to be in the accumulation of getting rid of crypto and putting their money back into USDT. What's the market saying across the board? Well, let's go over to the dominance of the dollar. Dominance of the dollar right now is creeping upwards. Remember this drawing from last week, ladies and gentlemen? Happy days. They're rolling out. They have recovered all of the vectors to the downside in this move. Okay? That suggests to me that they are favoring net dollar longs. So we would project out that the dominance of the dollar is likely to continue further up. Don't get it twisted. Dollar can actually consolidate, move down, move up, move down, move up. Okay? And the idea is are you going to sit through the drawdown? So when they get rid of their dollar positions, that means they're getting rid of the dollar and using dollar to go and buy other assets, such as EURUSD. Okay? Look at this. EURUSD has taken a nosedive, and I'm waiting for Euro to break a specific zone. And if they can invalidate this zone, then they're going to rip into this vector candle region and come down again towards parity. Will they allow it to happen? Because this is a very significant zone in the chart. Going over to the NASDAQ and the S&P itself. Look, NASDAQ futures, very choppy day. And at 4 o'clock today, the FOMC speakers will be discussing what they think is going to be the likely cause of what they're going to do with the minutes that are being released on Wednesday. On Wednesday, the FOMC minute statement will be released. Are they going to give us clues as to whether they are going to be aggressive with their policy in December? And are they actually going to be still increasing interest rates to get to that 2% inflation target? There's no way they're going to get to that inflation target by reducing the interest rate hikes. All right? No way. It's not going to work. We need unemployment to go up. Figures last week suggested that unemployment claims came in lower. So we've still got this jobs market that's causing a problem. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index came in at a reading of minus 19. 250 manufacturers do not see the long term as looking good. It's kind of bleak. All right? Now listen, credit where it's due. JP Morgan did say that we will see mini rallies happening in the stock market because of news announcements during this quarter. So when you see a stock showing good gains, all right, you need to dive into the industry that it's doing gains with. Now, when you actually look at the stock market, there's something you need to be considerate of. The industry that always performs well during these times, let me just check this out. Took profits, happy days, bro. Well done. When industries, or should I say, when the stock market is taking a nosedive, there are always industries that have to keep moving. Those industries are aerospace engineering, NASA, military, and medical. Medical always seems to be this industry that shows the most resilience. Doesn't mean it can't go down. It does go down, but it doesn't take that much of a beating. Check this out. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is a list of the stocks, okay, that have been outperforming during the market crisis that we're in right now. So, medical, biomed, and biotech. So if you're asking yourself the question, what do I do with my positions? How do I diversify? Well, you need to understand what businesses operate even though inflation is still around and the idea of war or anything like that. What defense sectors can you look into? And one of them is medical. Look at this for a stock. It has been rising non-stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. They've been accumulating. Look at the volume down below. Massive amounts of volume. Okay? Now, it doesn't really trade that much. I like to look at stocks that trade around 1 million shares per day. Okay? But you can see bright as day that they've been moving in and investors have been stepping in. You can see 81% of funds own this stock. Why? Develops therapies for genetic diseases using therapeutic VE vector. Oh my God, look at that. Look at this, 4D molecular therapeutic. There is vector evolution. It's right there, ladies and gentlemen, black and white. Vector evolution. Forget it's a spelling error on their behalf. It's vector evolution. What a guy. Next, let's have a look at another asset. We have got Avenus. Look at this. Medical Biomed. The strength of the industry. AA rating. That means stocks inside of the medical biomed biotech sector are performing really well given the current circumstances. Okay, we've got Avate right here. Aerovate, look at that. Holding out during this corrective phase. Now listen, when you've got stocks that perform well, okay, during these times, it is tipped that they're going to be the ones that actually start the market movement next bull run. Okay. Let's just have a look at AMG for a second. AMGN, Nancy Pelosi's stock. Here we go. How's that faring? It's doing pretty well, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? And what sector is it? Medical, biomed, and biotech. Nancy Pelosi brought 10,000 of these shares at $23 a share. 10,000 of those bad boys, and it's coming so close to the 296 zone. It's now trading at $290 a share, and even better, average volume is 2.851 million shares exchanged per day, and only 45% of funds own this stock. Pretty interesting, hey? Nancy Pelosi has done pretty well, given that that is the situation with her stock purchases that we are no longer really going to get light for, okay? So when you're looking to try and exploit, all right, what industry sectors to be in, defense stocks like medical are going to be the ones that hold out because people are still in hospitals. Technology is being developed. Funding still needs to be present. It's a machine that needs to keep working. Whether the financial crisis causes absolute collapse in the financial world, medical, aerospace will always have liquidity coming towards it. All right? We can also look at commodities. Let's just have a look at oil. When oil's taken an absolute nosedive to the downside, given that the OPEC are suggesting that they've reduced the amount of oil barrel output, look what's going on. Now, Biden did say that he wants to try and get oil down to around the $74 a barrel. Okay? But you can see that as oil is dropping, and I can see NASDAQ's taken an absolute, beautiful move to the downside, suggesting that liquidity is now going into the yields, well, not going to the yields, but traders are seeking cash. Long dollar tells you what things are going to be looking like as we go throughout the week. Okay? Now, looking at oil, we know that when oil drops, dollar is going up. And it hurts the Canadian dollar when oil goes down. Look at that. Nice little bad boy recovery of the vector candle in the zone, ladies and gentlemen. We like that. Let's have a look at dollar yen. Beautiful. Coming back up. 150. I'm still expecting it to get back up to that zone. Because if you start installing the idea of dollar dominance yet again, then you're going to be in a bit of a situation, guys. Every asset against the dollar will go down. All right? Look at gold. Gold is usually seen as a safe haven for investors, okay? And if investors are turning to gold, now gold is pretty expensive right now, and we've had this big move to the upside, so those same gold traders who turned to commodities to offset any risk during these times are now realizing returns. So there's going to be a profit run in gold. We anticipate the vector zones to be recovered in gold. We'll check it out tomorrow and see how the market fared at that point in time. Rolling over to Tesla. Now, Tesla's had a lot of situations, man. Called in 396,000 cars due to some faults. And you can see the impact of that. It's just trading lower now. $174 a share. If we look left, ladies and gentlemen, we can see we got any vector candle zones. Of course we do. Look at this bad boy. Nice green vector candle sitting at the 153 zone right there. That's the last point in the chart that we would anticipate them to do something about. When we say anticipate to do something, that's where interest can come in. So the same guys that saw that zone as a point that they could buy again, they're going to test that narrative and mark price towards that zone on the idea that the same people that came in at $154 are going to come back in again to test their intention and belief that it can go up from that point. That's what you're looking for. You don't need to care about price as a point. You're not interested in it. You care about what do people do at that point, which leads me back into Bitcoin. Look, I honestly, guys, I don't care about Bitcoin's price. I care about what people do at that price. And I look at the points in the chart. When Bitcoin aggressively hits a zone and aggressively moves away from it, I use that zone as a means to understand when is the retail trader going to run to his phone and be like, yo, bro, man, I need to buy Bitcoin. Yeah? Where are your notifications from Binance, Crypto.com, or Bybit telling you that Bitcoin has now broken the 20K zone, or Bitcoin is down 55%, 10% for the day? Do you think they make money telling people that things are going down? No. They make it when people see prices going up. Get a big, nice notification saying Bitcoin's above that key 20,000 psychological zone. Oh, 20K. What was 20K? 20K was when Bitcoin hit that the last time when they said it could never hit it. And that's where people were buying Bitcoin up because they were scared it was going to keep going higher. But it happened to be the same point that it dropped from. Check the glass node. What I'm trying to get across to you, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty simple. Okay? When you come to the marketplaces, especially in these certain times, understanding where the flow of money is ending up is going to let you understand how to manage your exposure, okay? All the guys in crypto are now going to be all concerned about the trust in cryptocurrency. The guys that are still talking about cryptocurrency and trying to be the advocates of cryptocurrency have got a hard job of installing trust in the average Joe about crypto. It's not going to be hard talking about Forex. It's not going to be hard talking about stocks. It's not going to be hard talking about dollar. So what you've got to get in your minds is this. If you're looking at your portfolios saying, shit, man, everything's taking a nosedive. I'm losing equity or value in my portfolio. What can I do? That's where you start looking into the stock market to see what sectors still perform during these times. Cryptocurrency is a speculative environment, guys, and it's a risky place. Crypto is, in my opinion, those who like the idea of quick gains, which is probably 95% of traders in the trading space. But it comes with a double-edged sword, guys. You've got to be very careful with leverage. Now, I know most of you guys who have been with me for a long time, mad love and respect to my pattern watchers. We've been doing these streams for 2 years now, trying to understand the nature of Mr. Market Maker in cryptocurrency. All of a sudden now, market makers are being discussed across mainstream channels, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, and what have you, and everyone's in shock about the market maker. Why are you in shock about the way the business operates? Is it new? No, it's not. Alameda Research, so much scrutiny behind this company. We've been talking about Alameda for a long time, but we were aware of their trickery and their manipulative ways. And this is what you're going to get in this stream. So to anybody new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. It works with the algorithm. Plus, we are close to that 100K, and I'm going to do something special on the 100K subscriber base. I might pull out the guitar. I might do a little bit of a riff. Name your song. It has to be something to do with Metallica. Otherwise, I ain't going to play anything else. But yeah, I hope today has brought some light into understanding that when it comes to trading and investing, all right, now is a great time to pick up stocks that are cheap, that are nearly 60% off their highs. Happy days. But do you trust picking up stocks at this time? I'd say the stock market is more trustworthy than the crypto market. Doesn't mean I'm bad-mouthing crypto. Don't get it twisted. Cryptocurrency is a dream because of the volatility. I understand how to exploit that volatility. I don't go crazy with leverage, and the average person does. And I want to try and get it into the average person's mind. And when you start stepping into cryptocurrency and expecting to make money overnight, you can make money in crypto. Let's not deny it. All right? Trading cryptocurrency. But when crypto's taking a nosedive and you are reluctant to trade it, that's where the stock market and Forex come into play. You see, there was a time in the channel, ladies and gentlemen, where I was talking about cryptocurrency and I was trading Forex on the other side. And when we were waiting for Bitcoin to move out of this terrible range that we were in, all right, people were trying to wait for that movement. No one's really making money, only scalpers. But I was grabbing moves from dollar yen up and down, which made me think I need to talk more about Forex to get people to understand the basis of why Forex as a legacy market is going to give you those easier moves to project. Because behind cryptocurrency right now, ladies and gentlemen, there's too much scrutiny that could create massive amounts of fears. Look, we've got the Wall Street, well, the street is even saying that the 10K mark is the point where Bitcoin could end up at from 16. Well, we're waiting for the 8K by the principle of the vector candle zone. So whatever price anyone believes that Bitcoin can't go to, they said it couldn't go to $100, it did. They said it couldn't go to 10K, it did. Why can't it be the same on the opposite direction? Sorry, gang, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to give you and tell you what you want to hear if you are a person that holds cryptocurrency. The idea of Bitcoin going down even more might be a bit of a problem for people. I get it. But if you're only involved in cryptocurrency, you are limiting your ability to diversify. That's where you got your Forex. That's where you've got your stocks and simply picking up dollars, according to JP Morgan. So, in the comments section, guys, at the end of this video, put down what stocks you want me to look at. Put down what Forex pairs you want me to look at. Put down, because quite frankly, the only stocks, well, crypto I'm going to be looking at is Bitcoin and Ethereum, because that represents crypto. I'm not interested in altcoins. You want altcoins? Okay, I'll talk about altcoins. But all those are pure gambling. Why? Because they move so fast and back down again. I will warn you about altcoins making mad gains because they literally operate on the principle of being listed on PancakeSwap and then getting dumped. That's what it looks like. What's the point in burning your money for the excitement of a quick pump for it to only come back down? That's why Bitcoin doesn't really move that fast, because there's a lot of liquidity behind it. And it can't happen that quick. That would install too much fear, given that there is too much fear in cryptocurrency right now. Okay? There is a mindset shift happening across the board. And you've got to be alert to that, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, mad love and respect. I'll be checking in with you all tomorrow. If you haven't done so already, download the Trader's Reality Indicator, get to the streams, and we'll be discussing, like we did earlier on today, about how to exploit and project price based on the behavior of the vector candles. You want to learn more about it, make your way over to the Patreon and check out the gang over there as well. Other than that, guys, mad love and respect. Peace.